to Paralytic Activities Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things creepy, kooky, weird and spooky. All done with an ale or two.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholas Stepani.
Cheers, my white, yeah.
And you lot, welcome to Paralytic Activities Podcast. Neil, your one-stop shop for all things creepy, spooky, weird, and bloody kooky, Neil. That's what it is.
Kooky.
Now, we normally start the show with comments, but we've been away for 3 weeks, so I've kind of lost all the comments from the last show, but we thank you anyway. That's all I've got to say about that. In this episode, though, for anyone who kind of listens to this podcast, I want you lot out there, because I usually say it at the end, to give us some comments, give us some questions, or give us some kind of ideas of like what we can add to the podcast. Do you know what I mean, Neil?
Yeah. You know, just basically get involved.
Yes. Anything relating paranormal or horror movies or anything that has happened to you, weird, or anybody happened to like a friend of yours as well. You know, tell us about it, and we'll tell them on the show. That's what we'll do.
You can actually, if you've got any funny stories or any ghost stories that you want to send us, and we'll read them out each week.
Yeah, not a problem with that. Neil, have a guess what?
What?
It's Halloween.
I know, yeah. Spook night. Spook night.
It's Spook Night. Yeah, so yeah, it's Halloween. This is a kind of we're not an Halloween special, Neil, but we're going to integrate it. We're going to integrate Halloween within tonight's episode. So tonight it's all about the big man, Neil.
Who's that?
I'll give you a clue. He's always horny.
You don't know what I mean?
No, I'm not about giant haystacks either. He lives in a hellhole. we're probably on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but he has more names than you, Neil. I can tell you that. Neil, how many names have you got for yourself, or what people call you? How many is there?
Right. You got Rolmount.
Rolmount, yeah.
You got Ned. People used to call me Neris.
Neris?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they stick.
Well, from bloody Open All Hours?
No. That was Norris.
Oh, was he? No, Norris was from Coronation Street.
Was what else we got? Oh, yeah. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump?
No, not Donald Trump. Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson, yeah.
Call me Bozza. Butch Dingle.
Yeah. You're missing the
Rebel.
You're missing one of the most popular ones.
Rebel Ned. Because I used to be a stripper back in the day.
Yeah.
Didn't
earn a lot.
There's a private stripper called Rebel Red, and they used to call me Rebel Ned.
And there's one more, Neil.
We
ain't got all day. Orange. Jesus Christ, people.
Oh, God. You squeeze that one out every day, yeah?
All right, don't take the pith. Listen, the devil is called Lucifer. Beelzebub. I always thought Beelzebub was a Blur song. You know what I mean?
Beelzebub.
Antichrist, Satan, the Prince of Darkness, and Moloch.
James.
No, not James Moloch. Moloch, Neil, is another name for the devil. Now, I always thought that was Elvish for open.
All right, then. Who else is now in the Prince of Darkness, John?
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
So there you go. Now, we have acquired a rare audio from the Yorkshire exorcist, Ian Lawman, from Help My House is Haunted, from his last exorcism, Neil.
Really?
We're also going to discuss the Devil Made Me Do It case from the 80s. And as it's Halloween, we've got some real Halloween. That's our Sophie, that is. Our Sophie, because our Sophie loves Harry Styles, and she's always saying Harryween, because he does a special show every year.
Yeah.
On Halloween, Harry Styles.
It could be called Harryween now, John.
Harryween.
They all ask for sweets, don't they? I mean, Harry Bowl.
Okay, yeah, I'll get it. I finally knew where you was going with that.
Yeah, but you know, what do they ask for sweets for, John?
Why?
Twick or tweet? Has anybody ever said twick?
No, it's trick.
Yeah, I know that.
It's trick or treat.
Has anybody ever said trick?
But do you know why people give sweets? because back in the day, in the pagan era, that the witches used to come round and ask for your kids, a bit like Jimmy Savile and Gary Glitter. They'd ask for your kids so they could eat the kids.
Eat the
kids. But they said, do you know what? Have a caramel cod instead, or some candy corn. And the witches preferred that. So they stopped eating kids and started eating candy.
Hmm.
That might be true, or it might be an episode of The Simpsons. I'm not too sure. Either way, it's fascinating nonetheless. Anyway, so we've got some real Halloween horror stories. But because we are paralytic activities, we like to start the show with a paranormal ale. Orange, what have we got today?
Today, John, we have got the Halloween drink.
It's the unofficial drink of Halloween,
Halloween, Neil. Yeah. Halloween drink. Same bloody thing, innit?
What is it, Neil?
It is Hobgoblin Gold.
Yeah.
4.2% beer from Witchwood Brewery. And it is a nice Boston drink.
Pour it in.
Well,
sounds fantastic. Sounds bloody fantastic. Get the last drops out of there, Neil. Get the last drops. How much in that can is there?
I've already drunk half of it, John. Halloween, it's my birthday tomorrow. You know.
Happy birthday, Neil. Better get you something.
A lot of people have had a good goblin in their life.
I bet they have, Neil. I bet they have. So, Neil, give us a little rating on the old ale scale, please, if you don't mind.
I do like that, even though it's got a bit of a twist at the end of it.
Hobgoblin
Bit
Gold,
like Chubby Checker's biography. But yeah, I'll give that a 4.7.
Neil. That's a really good score for such a popular
but it is popular
over the counter
that's
ale.
why it's popular, John.
It's popular because it's cheap, Neil.
It's nice. I don't
It's
care
all
how cheap it is,
all
John.
right. I mean, me personally, it's something you can have in a pub on the pool,
Yeah.
and I'd give it no more than 3.8. Personally,
You're a bit harsh with all this crap, you man.
no, because I like a lot of fruit in my ales and my IPAs.
Put a plum in it then, John.
I'll put your plums in it in a minute.
I'll put you in that glass.
You will. Anyway, Neil, what you been up to? What have I been up to, Johnny boy? That's why I asked. What have you been up to?
Well, I've just come down from the clouds, I'll be honest with you.
Excuse me?
Yes, John, I have. And you have as well.
Yes, of course.
Because we went to Orlando, Florida, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. And I must admit, my mind was blown.
It's the only thing was been blown a bit for a while.
I'm sick of this, man. You don't know what me and Goofy got up to behind the tent.
You and Goofy?
It was just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. I can't explain to you
Dickie Mouse here.
how good it was. I tell you.
It was fantastic, and that leads on straight, because obviously being a paranormal podcast and horror and all that, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal 2023, Neil. What was your thoughts for the first time ever going?
I thought, before they opened the gates and all the crowd was there, I thought this is going to be something special. Everything about it was brilliant, apart from the mazes. That's the only downfall.
That's what people go for.
Exactly, John. And the mazes, the way they've done them out was brilliant. But they're supposed to be scare mazes, John.
Yeah.
And somebody giving...
So Neil's going to recreate one of the scare actors right now. So imagine me, I'm walking through. And that was basically it. I mean, the way I see it is, I mean, first of all, we went in the Exorcist Believer house, and it looked absolutely fantastic, but there was no scares. It's a scare maze. You know what I mean? Then we went into Blood Moon Offerings, which was actually really good, the best of the lot.
It was.
But again, not many scares. And we queued up, I kid you not, for 2 hours till 1:30 in the morning for Stranger Things 4. This is why I'm wearing my thinking cap from Stranger Things. The maze itself was brilliant. Scares, zero. Absolute zero. And the worst thing about it is that you're ushered through.
Yeah.
Going, keep moving, keep moving. You don't get a chance to look at anything. Don't be bloody tits in.
It did, honestly. Honestly, God, I thought it was fantastic the way they've done it all out.
Neil, on my feet, I felt like I've been walking on toffee apples
Honest, John.
for 8 hours.
Honestly, God.
But we had a great time anyway. We had a laugh. We watched a cracking show. Went on some cracking rides. The scare zones were sound. It was atmospheric. It was great. Would I do it again? No. Not unless I've got a fuck-eyed fast pass. Forget it. I ain't queuing up more than now for nothing ever again.
Yeah.
Where are we getting to my rotten toes?
Yeah.
2 hour queue for the Nemesis, even though it's on.
I'm going to Baltic as well.
Neil, what was your thoughts on the Tower of Terror ride? Now, if people don't know what the Tower of Terror ride is, it's from the Twilight Zone, and you go up in a haunted lift, and you go out and you get dropped a few times from like 1,000,000 miles up in the sky. That's why you said you got dropped from the clouds. Neil, I've never saw you so terrified.
It was all an act.
Neil,
I'm telling you now,
it was
all
I've
an
got
act.
the pictures to prove it.
It was all an act.
And I'll post one of them
no, you won't,
with
you
this
won't,
podcast.
John. You won't, John.
But the other reason we're talking about it is because, you know, our last episode, I forget what it was called. What was it called, Neil? A thriller Disney night or wherever it was. And we talked about the Haunted Mansion, and we talked about other ghosts around Disney World. But did we see the ghost of Timmy? Did we see Mr. One Way? And did we see George off Pirates of the Caribbean? And I will tell you now, and on heart, no, we didn't.
No.
No, we didn't. We didn't even look. We couldn't give a shit, to be honest, because the rides we just mentioned were that good to look at. The last thing we want to see is a bloody spook. You know what I mean? No.
If anybody ever goes to Disneyland, or, you know, there's about 8, 9 parks, is there?
Well, there's quite a few.
Yeah. Honest to God, the VR rides will blow your mind.
Yeah.
I've not stopped talking about them. It's that how many times you come off Nemesis or something like that? Yeah, the good rides, don't get me wrong. And everybody gives a round of applause. And they'll just get off. That's it. If they're that good, everybody's like clapping. It's just so good.
Yeah, man. That was freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
That was kind of what it was like. And that was Neil saying that in an American accent.
I did.
He adopted a bit of American accent. You know why he was there? Give us a little rendition.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
Man.
That's all you can say. That's it.
We've also got engaged over there, John.
Yeah, brilliant. Great
So, Angel, Sebby.
Was his name Angel or Seb? I don't know.
Sebastian, his name is.
Okay, Sebastian.
Yeah. He's
Angel
from
Sandlia.
America. He's from America.
America.
I'm over the moon because he's such a lovely lad.
Yep.
And they're so happy together, so why not?
There you go.
And there you have it.
And on that bombshell, people, we need to crack on with the show. That's what we need to do. Neil, we are going straight in. I know it's Halloween, but we're talking about the devil.
The devil.
The devil. And mainly, the devil made me do it case, Neil.
Right.
Now, the incident, it led to a TV film called The Demon Murder Case, a book, The Devil in Connecticut, the movie, The Devil Made Me Do It, from the Conjuring files of Ed and Lorraine. I can never say Lorraine. Remember? Lorraine Warren. And recently, a documentary on Netflix, Neil. So I'm going to just go straight in. I just want, because you don't really know much about it, do you?
Mm.
So I just want you to chip in whenever you want. When I come out with some of this crazy shit, what was supposed to have happened. This is the trial of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, Neil. Now, the trial of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, also known as the Devil Made Me Do It case, is the first known court case in the United States in which the defense sought to prove innocence based upon the claim of demonic possession.
Right.
Did you get all that?
Yes.
So they wanted the devil to be on trial. I don't think he was going to turn up. I don't. But they wanted the devil to be on trial to actually say, do you know what? I possessed Arnie, not Schwarzenegger, and I made him do it. I made him kill this person. So there you go. So anyway, all the paranormal activity around the case and before Arnie was supposed to be possessed, it began after they went to clean up a rental property they had just acquired. Now, David, who was the little boy who first got possessed, Neil, he got possessed first. Now, David recalled an old man suddenly appeared I could be. Was he in a rain, Mac?
What dungeon master was he?
Welcome to the land of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, so he recalled an old man suddenly appeared and pushing and terrifying him. Should have went in a scare maze. But then he wouldn't be in bloody Horror Nights, would he? Because they don't touch it at all there.
No.
Now, the couple initially thought David was using the old man as an excuse to avoid cleaning the house. You know, they went to his friend to clean it, and he's saying he just saw the ghost of an old man, just so he ain't got to bloody clean, the lazy little git. But David informed them that the old man had vowed to harm the Glatzels, which is the name of the family, if they moved into this rental home, Neil.
Yeah.
So this spirit is talking to the young lad, David, saying, listen, if these move in, we're going to cause them harm. What do you think about that?
I don't know. You tell me.
Thanks for your input, Neil. Anyway, David's visions of the old man included the man appearing as a demonic beast who muttered Latin and threatened to steal his soul.
Steal his soul?
Yeah. Now, although the family alleged hearing strange noises coming from the attic, no one but David ever witnessed the old man. So David said he's seen this old man, but no one in the family did. There's mom, there's dad, there's young David, there's the next lad up, I don't know what his name is, and then the oldest lad. Yeah. None of them. Oh, sorry, and Arnie Johnson, he was there as well, and so was his girlfriend. But none of them saw this old man apart from David, who got possessed at the start of all the happenings and stuff like that. After David experienced night terrors, exhibiting strange behaviour, and obtained unexplained scratches and bruises, the family called upon the services of a Catholic priest. They've always got to bring the priest in, Neil.
Always got to bring the priest in.
Always got to bring the priest in. It's like the Amityville.
Yeah.
Just like the original Conjuring.
Yeah.
All these tales from the 70s. Let's bring in the bloody priest. Emmerdale. Yeah, forgot about that. Now, the terrified family concluded that the house was evil and would no longer continue to rent it. Now, David's vision, the young lad, David's visions worsened. 12 days after the original incident, the family summoned the demonologists, Ed and say it, Neil.
Ed and Lorraine. Yeah. Warren.
That's it. To assist. Now, Lorraine, I said it. Lorraine witnessed a black mist materialise next to David. That could have been some guff.
It could have been.
That could have been some guff. That could have been talcum powder. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, in that part of America, it's very hot. He could have had chef's arse, which is not chafing between the legs. And talcum powder is a great cure, so we could put some talcum powder on. Add a bit of a guff, puff of smoke, have some of that.
We got that.
Yeah. So this black mist is an indication of a malevolent spirit or presence. Now, Debbie and her mother told the Warrens they had seen David being beaten and choken by invisible hands, Neil, by invisible hands.
So if they're invisible hands...
How do they know he's being choked? Exactly. How do they know he's being choked? It could be all an act.
It's got to be, John.
Well, we'll get into it. Red marks also appeared round his neck from these invisible hands. Now, afterward, David had started to growl, hiss, speak in otherworldly voices, and recite passages from the Bible.
So he turned into like an angry snake.
Turned into he was like being like acting like a demon, hissing and growling and saying things from the Bible. I wonder if he come out of that passage from Pulp Fiction. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the and tyranny, whatever. Yeah. So the Glatzels recounted how each night a family member would remain awake with David as he suffered through spasms and convulsions after receiving a prognosis of multiple possessions from the Warrens. These Warrens, Neil, you got to keep an eye on these.
Oh, I know.
I'm telling you, they're in every kind of story or tale we've told. Ed and Lorraine pop up with their demons and possessions. Never, ever give it a rest. Now, David was subjected to 3 lesser exorcisms. I don't know what that means. A lesser... there's either an exorcism or there's not an exorcism.
What do you mean? Like a milder one?
A milder one. Instead of it like going, the power of Christ compels you, splash me in holy water, but we go, oh, get out. Leave David alone, you dirty old get. Do you know what I mean? So that could be a lesser exorcism. Now, Lorraine, I can say it perfectly now. Lorraine asserts that David levitated.
Again!
Neil, you can't be possessed by the devil or a malevolent spirit or a poltergeist without levitating. Neil, it's in the handbook.
Oh, I levitated on the Terror. So
You did, yeah.
I was hovering in midair. One for that belt, I'd have smacked me head on the ceiling.
Yeah, so David levitated. He ceased breathing for a time and even demonstrated the supernatural ability of precognition. In other words, he was having a premonition. He was telling them all what was going to happen.
Right, so we can see the future.
Basically, yeah. In October 1980, the Warrens contacted Brookfield police to warn them that the situation was becoming dangerous, Neil. Now, according to eyewitness testimony, Arnie Johnson coerced one of the demons within David to possess him instead. In other words, he goes, "Oi, you, leave David alone. Come and take me on." So he invited the devil or the demon or whatever it was, or the dirty old man, could have been Jimmy Savile, I don't know, to leave the young lad and get into Arnie. And that's where all this case come from, Neil.
Right.
Yeah. So on February the 16th, after a couple of weeks after Arnie Johnson, Arnie Johnson told the devil, come and take me on. Come and take me on. You know what I mean? I'd watch that fight. Be better than the Tyson Fury one, I can tell you that.
Pathetic.
So on February the 16th, 1981, Johnson called in sick to his job at the Right Tree Service. I wonder if he said, "Excuse me, I'm not coming in today. Why is that, Arnie?" "I've got the devil in me today."
Yeah.
"I've got the devil in me." "All right then, no worries. Put it down to Satan. Bosh, yeah. Have a week off. Get a sick note."
That's it. Where are you phoning from? I'm in bed at the moment. No, sorry, I'm floating above the bed at the moment.
Yeah. I'm levitating.
I'm on the ceiling.
Yeah, so he found him sick, and he went, instead of going stop in bed, he joined his girlfriend Debbie, which is David's older sister, who he was banging and knocking off, at the kennel where she worked. Now Bono, the couple's landlord and Debbie's employed at the kennel, bought the group lunch at a local bar and proceeded to drink heavily. That's Bono for you, Neil. Do you know what I mean? If he's not saving the rainforest, or he's doing live concerts in a sphere in Las Vegas, he's working at a kennel.
That's brilliant, that is. Oh,
Neil, you've got to live on the edge, are you?
Yeah, he's a good bloke, Bono.
It's good bloke. I don't know how he saw the dogs with them big black glasses on now.
I don't know.
That was for cataracts, that was.
It's the sweetest thing, man. It's the sweetest thing.
So he's the couple's landlord, and he's also owns the kennel who Debbie works for, David's older sister, who's banging Arnie. Yeah, it's all coming together, ain't it? It's all coming together.
Well.
Now, so they proceeded to drink heavily, and after lunch, the group returned to the kennel. Debbie went to get pizza. They've just had lunch. Jesus Christ.
Greedy git.
I think they had more than a couple of drinks, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Old wacko backo.
Yeah.
The old Jamola, you never know, a couple of blunts here and there. So Debbie went to get pizza. When she returned, Bono was intoxicated at this point and became agitated. She confronted Bono, said, "Listen, stop pissing around." And then Arnie got involved. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Arnie and Bono were having a set to. They're having a bit of a face-to-face thing, you know what I mean? Bit like Bowie and Mick Jagger in that song.
Yeah, dancing in the street.
dancing in the street. So Arnie and Bono are going at it, hell for leather. Debbie stands between the two men. Then Johnson, Arnie, who's apparently getting possessed at this time, he started growling like an animal and then drew a 5-inch pocket knife and stabbed Bono repeatedly. Bono died several hours later. According to Johnson's lawyer, Bono had suffered 4 to 5 tremendous wounds.
Oh, yeah.
Not only was it, why would you say tremendous wounds?
Because they've got to be big gashes, John. Big gashes.
Well, yeah. So imagine he's lying there on the slab, the concrete slab in the hospital, and all the doctors there going, it's tremendous wounds. Give him a round of applause. They were tremendous, there, man. Some cracking stabbing going on there. So the day after the killing, Lorraine Warren informed the Brookfield police that Johnson was possessed when the crime was committed. A media blitz soon surrounded the story, fueled in part by the Warrens. I'm just going to say this, going to put it on the table. Money talks.
John,
Money talks and bullshit walks.
Did they find a weapon?
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so he did kill him.
Oh,
He did kill him nearly. They make it up.
I'm going to say, so they still haven't found what they're looking for.
They found him dead by the Joshua tree in the back garden. It wasn't that Bono, Neil. It wasn't that Bono, because that Bono's still alive, Neil, and he drinks in an Irish bar drinking Guinness.
Lying on a slab, rattling on me.
Yeah, so a media blitz soon surrounded the story, fueled in part by the Warrens, whose agents promised that lectures, a book, and a movie detailing the gruesome case were in the works. Say no bloody more. Martin Minnelli, Johnson's lawyer Arnie, not Schwarzenegger, received calls from all over the world about what was being called the Demon Murder Trial. He planned to bring in an exorcism specialist from Europe and threatened to subpoena, whatever that means, the priests who oversaw David Glatzel's exorcisms if they did not cooperate with the defence. The trial took place in Connecticut's Superior Court in Danbury, beginning on October the 28th, 1981. So the whole case was built round that the Warrens and this other reporter, I don't remember his name, saying that Arnie was possessed by the devil who was in young David. Get out, get him me, kind of thing. I'll take you on. Yeah. And he went, had a couple of drinks, and then stabbed Bono. Stabbed Bono through the heart.
And that's what that saying comes from. You got the devil in you.
Yeah. Now, I was watching the document. I like that, Neil. You got the devil in him, exactly. Now, I was watching the new documentary on Netflix, Neil, and something swayed me from, was he getting possessed, to what a load of bollocks. Yeah. There was imagine like this kid David when he was young. Yeah. Now the Warrens were kind of, when they first got to the house, they was telling David about, do you hiss, do you growl, do you convulse, or do you like speak in Latin? Well, he never did until the Warrens got there. Lo and behold, David started to hiss and growl like an animal, and started to like shake himself about, and he learned. So I don't know if he knew any Bible stuff, but he was saying all that kind of stuff. Exactly what the Warrens kind of put into his head. So he was acting out scenarios. Now, no one could hold this David down while he was possessed. But there's one incident, right, where the older brother said he was there calling his mom a cocksucker, calling his mom a pork chop.
Pork chop sucker.
Yeah, a pork chop sucker, and calling her all these foul names. The dad thought, I've had enough of this shit. He barged past Ed and Warren, went past Lorraine, got to young David, went clout, slapped him round the face, and goes, now you got to cut this shit out. Now get over there. David stopped doing what he was doing and went and sat down on the couch.
Oh.
So therefore, the dad told the devil to shut the fuck up, and he did.
Oh, yeah. No,
If he's much of a demon, surely he wouldn't put up with that shit.
Just slapping the pork chops, that was John.
It was, yeah.
That's what cool. That's what. When somebody slaps you in the pork chops, that's it, John. You do what they say.
Exactly. Now, the eldest son, right, he also stated that the mom was poisoning the family's food. So every time they had dinner, This is all hearsay, but he did say it on this documentary. Go and check it out. It's on Netflix. That they'd have food out on the table, eating as a family. The mom would have a separate bowl on her own,
Oh,
so
yeah.
she wasn't eating what they was eating.
Yeah.
And she was putting this drug in the family's food. 1, to make them tired. 2, to control them, which also could have easily resulted in hallucinations and anger and etc. etc. And he swears by that his mom was poisoning the food at that time. But the Warrens were saying he was possessed by the devil. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Now, the eldest lad, I can't remember his name, so I didn't look it up that much. He said as soon as the Warrens got there, it became a circus, a media circus. Do you know what I mean? So there was no one there, and all of a sudden there's press everywhere. There was like talks of money, and we're telling them they're going to get rich, and you're going to get famous, and this and that. And they did for a while, Neil. They did for a while, and it was all instigated by the Warrens. He also says there was no possession of David, and there was no possession of Arnie. Arnie killed an innocent man, but others say different, Neil. Who do you believe? Arnie went down to 10 to 20 years, not for murder, for manslaughter. So he got a leaner sentence because obviously the devil, and it came into it somewhere along the line. So what do you believe, Neil? What do you believe? What do you believe, people?
I don't believe the devil made him do it.
No. If he did, Neil, and he got a leaner sentence, if he got manslaughter, he was going to go away for life, 20 to life.
How long did the devil get?
Don't know. He'd turn up.
666 years.
He'd turn up. I've got to turn this heating off. It's killing me. He'd turn up, Neil, for the trial. So he was probably laughing his tits off.
He probably was.
Yeah, putting his feet up with his hooves.
Yeah, and his fork.
And his tail waving about.
Big issue.
So who do you believe, Neil? I believe that it was all fabrication.
Most definitely.
Definitely. Do you know what I feel sorry for? Bono.
I know, I do as well.
I feel sorry for Bono. I really do.
I do.
He did deserve it. He didn't deserve it, Neil. Now, on that bombshell right there, people, I have got an amazing surprise for all of you, especially you, Neil, and everybody listening. Now, there's a new TV show coming on the Really channel, and it stars a certain Ian Lawman. Ian Lawman, if you don't know, he is a ghost hunter. He's also supposed to be an adorned exorcist, and he speaks to spirits. He can see them. He can do anything, really, basically. You know, he might have some talents. I don't know. But it's going to be called the Yorkshire Exorcist. So our good friend the Riddler, who's taking a week off this week from the cryptid factor, but he's definitely back next week. He's got this rare footage, Neil.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's got some rare footage. I'm going to play the audio right now. It's real. It's not fake, and it's Ian Lawman in the Yorkshire Exorcist from one of his last exorcism cases.
Bloody hell, this is good.
It is good, Neil. You ain't going to believe this. Everybody, pin your ears back because this is a momentous occasion.
Yeah, I've possessed this young lady here, and I'm going to stop in here. Hey, yo, you better come out of her now, because I've got a right good Ginster's pasty in microwave I'm ready to eat. And if you don't come out today, I'm going to be very cross. The power of Christ compels thee. The power of Christ compels thee. Here, don't do that to me again, yo, with that holy water. It burns me. Your mother cooks socks in hell. Here, yo, don't say that to me again, yo. Get out of it. Come out of it. Acting like a right daft pit. Get into yon other priest over there and get out the window right quick. And that's the end of Yorkshire Exorcist.
Neil, that's a real audio from the first episode of the Yorkshire Exorcist on the Really channel from our good friend Ian Lawman, the only adorned exorcist in Yorkshire.
You know what?
I don't know how Riddler got that. I don't know how the Riddler,
You
Mr.
must
Luke
know
Walker.
him, John.
I'll one take. But he knows a lot of people, how Luke does. A lot of people.
You must know him.
Yeah.
You know, that was scary shit.
It was, but that was real. Now that was a real event. There was a man in Yorkshire who was getting possessed by a Yorkshire demon.
I'm sure you were past his est.
and the Yorkshire exorcist exorcised the place now. How about that? That is original footage right there. You're not going to find that anywhere else, people. Do you know what? Joking aside, Luke, that was absolutely hilarious. I loved it. Please, we need the Yorkshire exorcist next week. He needs to come back with a new case.
Yes, exercise the gangsters.
Now, on that bombshell, people, we're going to go straight into another one of our favourite sections. It is Orange Spills the Juice. Now, our Neil here, Orange, or Rebel Ned, Relmout, Boris Johnson, or whatever you want to call him, he's one of the most unluckiest people on the planet. I have seen him trip over a wireless network. He bought a banana the other day from the shop. He peeled it. There's nothing in it.
Well, sure.
He once went a greyhound racing. No, he wasn't greyhound. You was watching the greyhound racing.
Oh yeah,
You could not beat a greyhound nearly in a foot race. Not a chance.
Oh, John, all of the greyhounds.
He did, yeah, and he bet on the rabbits and still lost.
Yeah,
that's how unlucky this kid
John,
is.
I got some tickets actually.
Yeah,
I won some tickets and with a 3-course meal and watched the grounds and everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Come on, coming.
Well, it was last week.
Was he?
Yeah.
It's not good telling me now.
Well, John, you want very being a chef. You want to be very happy.
Why?
Because I was there. I had steak, chips, onion rings, everything right on my plate.
Yeah.
Right. And he goes, I had to send it back to the kitchen, John.
What was that then?
Found an error on my plate. Anyway.
It's time for Orange Spills the Juice. It's time for Orange Spills the Juice, Neil. What is this? Is this the Halloween apple bobbing incident by any chance?
Yes, it is, John.
Okay, Orange, take it away. The mic's all yours.
Well, years and years and years ago, when I had a family. Well, I've still got a family, but I was married and whatever. We had a Halloween party at the house, and we invited about 20 people, and they all brought the kids with them and everything. Do you mean? Jesus Christ! They all brought the kids with them. Everybody dressed up, John.
Yeah.
There was cobwebs all over the house.
There was before Halloween. What are you on about?
Mm-hmm. And I thought, we'll have a few games with the kids, and like best dressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have a game, running around the stick and make yourself dizzy, and then go grab a drink.
Can I ask you a question? What did you dress as?
I can't remember.
What, the Joker by any chance?
Probably. Anyway, it was getting late at night, right, and everybody's there having a laugh and a drink and whatever.
So the drink was flowing.
The drink was flowing.
You can't have a Halloween party without drink.
Cocktails are flowing, John. Everybody's getting a bit wrecked.
Yeah.
Right, so I got all the kids in the living room, right, and I said, "Come here, kids. Everybody want a game of apple bobbing?" What's that? What's that? So I got all loads of apples off the apple tree from next door's garden.
Did you really?
Them don't even know either, John. Oh,
yeah, there could have been caterpillars or anything in there.
Yeah, but it's Halloween.
Oh, that's fair enough. So off for Snow White, so off for them, eh?
So everybody's gathering around, all excited about the living room full. So I've got this big, like a jug thing, and I was like, "What you do, kids?" You get
you turn into a werewolf.
Yeah, try and grab an apple with your mouth. You can't grab the core. You got to grab the apple and try and bite it. Whoever does it the quickest wins. A Swizzler or a lollipop.
A Turkish Swizzler.
Turkish Swizzler or a lollipop or something. So I'm there demonstrating what you do with this, what you do. And at the time, there's a lot of drunk adults about, right? As I'm putting my head in the water of apple bobbing, some person, I'm not going to say it was, started tipping cocktail over my head. Well, cocktail contains spirits.
She's Halloween now.
containing spirits. I'm going, just stop it, please. I'm trying to show the kid, please stop it. I'll do it again. Oh, another bloody sex on the beach has landed on my head. Right? And I'm going, look, please stop it. All my eyes are burning now. You know, they're going red. My contact lenses ain't having none of this. They're starting to melt and everything, John.
It's a good job it wasn't Harvey Warbanger.
I tell ya. Harvey Warbanger. Yeah. And so I do it again. One last time. Some dickhead puts a bloody with a cocktail on me and a margarita.
But you want a pizza?
Margarita on my head. At this time, I can't see, John. It's like, you know, the werewolf changing American Werewolf.
Get away!
I'm like that. Will you please stop it? I'm trying to show the kids and everybody's laughing. I'm looking around the room in slow motion. I can barely see. Everybody's going, yeah.
Like a CNA kickboxer.
Yeah,
Tongue pound through sand in his eyes.
Yeah, that's what it was like. And then I'll give it one more go. I put my head in the water and somebody threw another cocktail on my head. I've gone, that's it, you asked for it. And I lost my shit.
Yeah.
John, I couldn't see. I got the old bowl, which was pretty big. It was like a big fish bowl thing. Lobbed it at everybody in the room. There were apples bouncing off kids' heads. Right. And the telly was smoking because I threw it all over the back of the telly. Right. And when it landed on the floor, I was like,
like the Hulk.
Yeah. And when I've stopped, I've looked around. All the kids are crying. The makeup's running, John.
Shocking.
All the makeup's running.
Should be ashamed.
You could have heard an apple core drop on the floor. It was quiet as I lost the shit. And right, somebody gets up and goes, right then, kids, it's time to go.
Party over, right, girl.
And everybody left one by one.
It was that bad. Even the apples got up and walked
They
out.
did, yeah. They did. And I'm not usually like that. I've just seen red, you know what I mean? And that was on just my eyes, stinging. I'm trying to teach the little kiddies how to play apple bobbing, and some donuts kept ruining it. And
Neil.
I've seen red, John. I've seen red.
Yeah. No need, Neil. That is shocking. So, yeah. So, it was a good night then?
It was great night, John. It was. You know, but, yeah, I felt really bad after it.
Oh, well, it's in the past.
It's in the past, but you know,
we wouldn't have this amazing story if it never happened, Neil.
True, yeah,
and that's
true.
a good thing about it.
Very true.
And Neil, it's Halloween.
I
It's
know.
Halloween night right now. I love Halloween, Neil.
I do, but this year, Halloween.
It's been a bit
weird.
different this year because we've got a lot of shit going on. Plus, we've just come back off our jolly holidays.
Yeah.
And we haven't really got into it. I've got some pumpkins carved. I've done a bit of a Jack Skellington on the window. But apart from that, I mean, we used to have a massive party, don't we?
Yeah.
But we haven't had one this year. We went to some friends overnight. That was good. We had a good time there, David Kid.
Yeah, we did. I was great.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's what I dressed up as.
The Joker, by any chance?
Yeah. Again.
Oh, well.
Got to make the most of that outfit, John. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is true. You got to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to go
to smile.
What's the other thing he says all the time?
Yeah. Every day for the devil in the pale moonlight. that had the joke. Is that a joke? That was Batman morning.
Yeah, the Joker said it. Jack Nicholson said
yeah,
it as the Joker.
Every day to the devil in the pale moonlight.
No, I haven't. But
He has though. Warren.
there's Warren.
Lorraine Warren.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Neil, I love Halloween. It's one of my favourite times of the year. Bit different this year, but I still love it nonetheless. Just the actual eeriness of it all, the smoke in the air, the candles lit, the pumpkins glowing, you know, and people thinking, you know, it's the veil where spirits come out at 3:00. It's that the veil is the thinnest, Neil.
Yeah.
Because the clocks have just gone back. It's pitch black everywhere. It's just a great time of year, Neil. It's a great time of year. So, people, turn off your lights, light your jack-o'-lanterns, and get ready to be terrified with these real Halloween stories. Now, some of these stories are disturbing, so listen with precaution. Sign a waiver, Neil. Sign that waiver. So the first story, like I say, these are all true. These actually are real events. This one happened in 1974. 8-year-old Timothy O'Brien, he died on Halloween evening after eating candy laced with cyanide. So the poor kid's gone trick-or-treating. He's having a great time. He's got a couple of candy corns. He's got a couple of caramel apples. And some bastard has laced him with cyanide. That is horrific. But the story takes an even more sinister turn, because it turned out the candy was poisoned by Timmy's own father, Ronald, who was in financial trouble and had taken out insurance policies on his children. Can you believe that? But what goes around comes around, people. Ronald O'Brien was executed by lethal injection in 1984, hopefully with a bit of bloody cyanide.
That's just shocking, eh?
That is shocking, Neil.
No, there's people, John.
I know. Why would anybody do that? You know what I mean? On Halloween, of all things. Neil, story number 2. In 2005, a 40-year-old woman in Delaware, that's right, Delaware, committed suicide by hanging herself from a tree across the street of a residential area. Though the body was easily visible to passers-by and passing vehicles, no one called for the police. She just hung there for hours and hours and hours and hours. Why, Neil? Why?
Because it was Halloween, John.
Because it was Halloween. People thought it was a Halloween decoration, Neil.
God's sake.
Unbelievable. So when you're walking down the street trick-or-treating and you see someone dangling, please go and have another look, because it might be someone there hanging by a noose.
But down our street, they don't celebrate Halloween, John.
What do they celebrate now?
Eid.
Eid.
Don't celebrate. The only thing hanging from the telephone was a pair of trainers.
There is.
I've been trying to get him down. They're the size 9 as well, John.
There was a Halloween party in San Antonio, Texas. It was in full force. Everyone was dressed up. There was having a great bloody time. Probably one of the best nights ever. Excuse me. Hobgoblin. Having a great time, getting drunk, doing Thriller, doing all the Halloween dances. But a man turned up dressed as Freddy Krueger. He was uninvited. So he just opened fire on the crowd and shot 5 people. I know.
What the hell, man?
But why dress as Freddy Krueger? With them knives on his fingers, it'd be quite not very easy to pull the trigger, would he?
Not really.
Do you know what I mean? I would have thought of a better costume than that.
I know that, but you know, if you're going trick or treating,
yeah,
I mean, it'd be easy to get the candy at the bottom of the thingy with the bag.
And if he was apple bobbing as well,
exactly.
He could just like go down into the bucket with his hand by his face, and before you know, he picked up 5 apples in one. 5 apples in one. Freddy Krueger, the king of apple bobbing.
Yeah.
Neil, one night in Long Island, just before Halloween 2014, a decapitated body laid in the street 5 feet away from a severed head. Now, too many passerby, too many people who was walking by, thought the horrific sight was a Halloween prank. But the truth was more disturbing. Who's Sybil?
Welcome back.
I was thinking about Sybil from Fawlty Towers.
No.
So the people thought it was a Halloween prank, but the truth was far more disturbing. 35-year-old Derek Ward had used a kitchen knife to kill and decapitate his own mother. He carried the body and the head from the apartment, leaving the body and the head in the street. Then Ward jumped in front of a train, killing himself.
Shoved a bit for it.
Went off the rails there. Unbelievable. I don't know how we can joke about horrific events like that. But if you don't crack a joke, you get pissed off and depressed, don't you?
You do.
Always got to put a smile on your face. It's a comedy podcast, people. In 1963, many Hoosiers decided to spend Halloween night at the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum watching Holiday on Ice. It was a skating exhibition. Now, unbeknown to them, a rusty tank in the concession area began to leak gas. He's releasing gas right now, which lacked ventilation, quickly filled with gas. Now, the room quickly filled. Whoever writes this shit up need to check out their punctuation. So the room is filling with gas. The skaters performed their grand finale. The gas reached an electric popcorn maker. I don't know if these are made up or not.
God's sake.
Triggering a huge explosion. 74 people were killed and nearly 400 people were injured. And 600 people got buttered popcorn burns. I made that last bit.
There's 10 bodies found in the foyer or that. In the foyer now.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
Butterkiss,
Rah, rah, rah. And one last horrifying Halloween tale. 25 years ago,
I was going to say something.
16-year-old, you ain't going to believe this one. 16 years ago, a Japanese exchange student, Horatio Hattori, he dressed up as John Travolta.
What?
He dressed up as John Travolta from Saturday Night Fever, then headed out to an Halloween party in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tragically, he was mistakenly dropped off at the wrong house. And the homeowner panicked and shot him in the head. The homeowner pleaded self-defense and he got away with it.
Seriously?
Oh, man. What would you dress up as John Travolta on Halloween? That's a crime in itself.
I don't know, John.
I don't know.
You want to be staying all over it, but he won in the end.
He wasn't, Neil. He wasn't, Neil. I've got one last story before we wrap it up, but I'm going to save it for next week. Anyway, people, Halloween, love it. Stories, love it. But I'm going to quickly go into flick the screen, Neil, because we're running out of time, as per normal. Neil, I went to watch The Exorcist at Believer. Well, I didn't watch it. I watched it on my dodgy box. But there is spoilers ahead right now. Before we get into it, though, Neil, it's time for Guess the Horror Shit Title. Neil, you don't watch many horror films. I do. This movie, I can guarantee you haven't watched at all, so you won't have a clue what it's about. I want you to tell me the synopsis for this film. It's called Ekusute Air Extension. Neil, what's it about?
Ekusute Air Extension.
Yeah, so it's the title of a horror film. Yeah, it's called Ekusute Air Extension. What's it about? Have a guess. Pull some out the air.
Air extension. I don't know, John. What does Ekusute mean?
I've no idea, Neil. I don't speak
exactly.
Japanese.
So Ekusute, don't know what it means.
It's something to do with air extension, Neil.
What, somebody get dreadlocks and start strangling people with them? I don't know, John. You know what I mean?
You're not far off. So it's about air extensions that attack women that wear them, basically. When a girl is discovered at the dock, the local coroner, Yamazaki, soon realizes that her hair is still growing at an incredible rate. So she's dead, but her hair's still growing all over the dock. Yamazaki decides to take the body home with him and begins selling the girl's hair to local hair salons as hair extensions. However, it soon becomes apparent that the hair has a life on its own with deadly consequences. So anybody who buys the hair extensions gets killed by the hair, basically. There's a couple of scenes where the hair, while she's asleep, chokes her to death. There's another scene, Neil. I watched it the other day. There's another scene where she's in the bathroom brushing her teeth, as you do. And she's gone, look at her tongue. And there's all this hair all over her tongue. And all of a sudden, she started pulling a full-blown wig out of her mouth, like this. And then you see the hair going around her eyeballs. And then coming out of her lug holes. And her hair's growing everywhere. So she decides to shave the lot off. And she gets out, and the hair's gone out of her mouth, the hair's gone off her eyes. She thinks, bloody hell, what was that? Was I tripping? Was I tripping? All of a sudden, the hair comes out of nowhere, out of a bald skull, and sticks to the ceiling, and drags her up 6 foot up the air and hangs her.
Seriously?
Neil, it's a cracking film. It's a cracking film. I reckon everybody should go and check it out right now. So that is Ekusute Hair Extension. It's a Japanese film, but it's worth a look. Especially if you're an hairdresser. But the flip the screen tonight is The Exorcist Believer, the new film what came out for Halloween. I usually have some things written down when I do a review, what I do in a nutshell. But on this occasion, I have written nothing, and I will tell you why. This is my review of The Exorcist Believer. It's fucking shit. Episode 13, DUN, done. Orange, have you got anything to add? In other words, Neil, I'm not even going to waste my breath on a review for it. It's that bad.
Seriously?
It's embarrassing. The Exorcist from the 70s, fan-bloody-tastic, stands up to the test of time in some ways, but it's original, it's scary, it's a bit gory, it's shocking. This is a big pile of piss. It's a big pile of horse dung. It is shocking, and I'm not even going to waste my breath on doing a review for it. So have some of that. Neil, anything to add for our Halloween-ish demon special?
I just want to say, right, I feel sorry for the trick-or-treaters.
What was that, Neil?
I believe we're all done.
What you done, Neil?
I bought some sprouts and coated them in chocolate.
Well, you said you was going on a diet.
They're not for me.
Oh, they're not.
For the greedy fat little kids' heads, sorry. Yeah. I cooked them, cooked the sprouts.
Oh, that's all right. That's not too bad.
And I put chocolate over them,
So they think they're like Maltesers.
Yeah. Big chocolates.
Okay. Thanks for that. So people,
Oh,
if you...
no,
we're not keep smelling sprouts, Neil. So on that bombshell, people, excuse me, thanks for listening. And please, please, please help us grow this podcast. We want comments. We'll read them out next week. Not a problem. We want questions. We want you to get involved in this podcast. Have a laugh. Come and join us. Come and join the bloody fun. And we'll always give you a shout out. Send us some stories. If you've got some paranormal tales or anything what's happened to you or people you know, send them in and we'll read them out.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want. We want people who have had real experiences. Because if you don't tell them, they don't exist.
Exactly.
Now, a lot of people think that, I can't tell them because people think I'm bloody nuts. Or, I'm the village idiot or something like that. Tell them. There's that many stories would go amiss because people don't tell them.
Yeah, I've read some more stories.
Do you know what I mean? So, Neil, on that bombshell, means you've already said your last words about your chocolate sprouts. We have a saying every week, Neil. And a lot of people love this saying. We've even got it on the T-shirt. Neil, can you turn around?
God, I'm worried.
These T-shirts are done by Alan Michael Warman from Treescapers or Tawny Creations. No, we can't see it. Look, if you look there, if you want on YouTube, go and check it out. And while you're there, watch some of our bloody videos if you don't mind, because they are pretty good. We've got more paranormal evidence than anybody we know, and it's all genuine, no fakery, no bullshit when it comes to paralytic activities. So, Neil, we're going to wrap the show up on that bombshell. We have a saying. Now, to all you alien twitchers out there, your cryptid stalkers, your ghost catchers, and your horror lovers, if you are out this weekend and you don't get any bloody spirits, just do what we do. Neil, tell them what we do.
We drink them instead
We drink them
Means
instead.
it's my birthday tomorrow as well.
Woohoo! It's 50 at
Well,
last.
that shut up, Dick Splat.
Yeah, we drink them instead. Listen, I'll help you have a happy Halloween. If you're watching this now, or you're watching it later, or whatever you're going to watch it or listen to, or whatever, be safe, and we'll see you next week.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. And on that bombshell, Neil, we're going to play some music to see us out.